Thanks for joining us. I'm Nancy Furness, and this is We've Got Issues. We're filming today at Poirier Library in Coquitlam, and we'd like to thank the library for allowing us this space to carry out our interviews. Before we get started, I'd just like to acknowledge that our interviews are taking place on the traditional, ancestral, and unceded lands of Coquitlam First Nation. We thank the Coquitlam people who continue to live on these lands and to care for the lands and the waters and all that lies above and below. Today I'm joined by Phil Buchan, and Phil is taking a run for Coquitlam City Council. So thanks so much for joining us today, Phil.
Thank you for having me today, Nancy.
Can we start off by just maybe tell us a little bit about yourself?
Okay, yeah. My name is Phil Buchan, and I've been a Coquitlam resident for the last 13 years. And the last 2 years, I have been working for two nonprofit organizations. One which helps youth in the Tri-Cities area, and the other one is I've been working at the winter shelter in the Tri-Cities area for 2 years. So I've become really connected on those two issues, and I've been advocating as well. And also I was president of the Brick Mountain Naturalists for 2 years, so I'm also very involved in advocating for environmental issues as well.
Well, thank you. That's a broad background. You've got some social justice and some environmental interests in there. Can you just briefly give us your top three interviews, based on your background that you're bringing to the candidacy?
Okay, so my top three issues are, the first one is affordable housing, and this is a really big issue all over Canada and Coquitlam as well. And I think we need to work on building more housing for low-income people, seniors, and also unhoused people, because it's a really important issue. Housing is a human right, and we really need to build more. And I would say it should be a minimum of 20% low market housing in all new housing developments. And the second one is Vision Zero, which is about traffic safety. Traffic safety was one of the biggest issues that was brought up when I ran 4 years ago. Everyone's saying speeding, we have to reduce speeding. Like, I was really surprised by that. And Vision Zero is a way to reduce the speed limit. Most cities are doing 30 kilometer hours, but I think it could be 30 or 40 kilometers per hour. Okay. And this really helps protect pedestrians and cyclists so they don't get injured, because if the speed is lower, then the injuries are less severe.
Mm-hmm. Is that 30 or 40 on all streets?
Oh, sorry, I forgot about that. Okay, yeah, so it's on secondary streets, not main streets. Yeah.
Okay.
And it's already been instituted in Victoria and Vancouver, right, already.
So there's some results coming in on that.
Yeah, there's not a lot of data, but I'm sure it's going to be good data. Yeah.
Awesome. And then you had your third priority?
And the last one is urban forest management strategy. So the city is developing the urban forest management strategy, but I don't think it's good enough. We have to. Right now, the city of Coquitlam allows you to cut down 2 trees per year with no permit. And I think we have to phase out that system to protect our tree canopy, and we have to protect the trees that we have, and also in new developments, we need to plant more trees in new housing developments.
Why are trees important to you?
The biggest thing is what they provide. They provide shade. They provide carbon sequestration. They help cool down people because it's very important. And one expert, he said 3, 30, and 300. So everyone should be able to see 3 trees from their home, 30% tree canopy in all the city, and 300 meters from a green space for all people.
Okay, interesting. So that's something that you would be advocating for as a council member or as a candidate for council to ensure that we have a strong urban forest management strategy. I believe that there's a draft out right now.
Yeah, I've been telling everyone to give their feedback to the city. They have to do it before April 30th. And please tell the council that we want a stronger urban forest management plan.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much, Phil. Now, I'm going to circle back a little bit. You talked about affordability and the importance of affordability. What would you do as a city councillor to sort of promote affordability? Understood that we do need that diversity of housing and, that it's imminently important right now. What would you do? What actions would you take to advocate for more affordable housing as a city councillor?
Well, the first thing we have to do, we have to define what affordable housing is. And it's low market housing, below market housing. That has to be the biggest thing that we have to build. Like I said before, we need housing for low-income people, for unhoused people, for seniors. These people are in danger of being priced out of Coquitlam. They're moving to Langley or Abbotsford or Chilliwack. It's really unacceptable that we're not building enough housing so people can stay in their cities.
Right, it is. It's an issue for sure, and I think it's top of mind, across the whole spectrum. I just want to stay with, you have a background in working with the unhoused community. Can you talk a little bit about that? Coquitlam currently has the only supportive housing site in the Tri-Cities, and some ongoing pressure that we've seen from encampment that has popped up beside 3030 Gordon. What's your approach to addressing homelessness at the municipal level? Like, what would you like to see happen?
Well, another thing, the biggest thing is we need another shelter in the Tri-Cities, in the Tri-Cities area. Of course, we have the temporary winter shelter, which closes on April 30th. That was a really good thing. It helped at least 20 people per night.
Right, getting them off those cold, wet nights that they were experiencing outside, yes.
But we need also the city to step forward with the province and the federal government so the city should be providing city land to build another shelter. It's unacceptable that we don't have another shelter to help people in the Tri-Cities, including Port Coquitlam and Port Moody. And there has to be a partnership between the city and the city. Sometimes, I hate to say it, but they're blaming the provincial government and the federal government for this problem. But they have to start working with them to solve this problem.
And I think it has become a bit of a political football, sort of going back and forth there. So as far as another supportive housing facility, what would that look like? Do you think it needs to be high barrier, low barrier, a combination, or is there room for all of that?
I think it has to be a combination of both, but also it has to have the supports and the programs, which is missing right now. But there are some programs, there are some nonprofit groups that are working with unhoused people to help them find housing. There are some success stories where people are being placed in Burnaby or other housing places, but it's just we just need another shelter. That's the biggest thing.
Right. So capacity, over capacity, and it's spilling out into 3020 Gordon. Yeah. So given that housing and mental health and addictions falls sort of under the provincial as well as municipal, how would you advocate to the province for more supports there?
Well, I think funding is key, and also working with the MLAs. So the MLAs can advocate to the premier to get more supports and more money and more funding. So, because mental health and addiction, these are both health issues, and they should be treated as health issues. And we just need more funding. And I think the city should also think about some other programs that they can start to help the unhoused population in Coquitlam and the Tri-Cities area.
Okay, and can you give us an example of what kind of program they should be starting?
Well, they should be, there are some outreach groups, some nonprofits that are doing outreach, Fraser Health and other places. But I just think for maybe by law, this is kind of a different, it's related to public safety, but maybe by law could have some employees that work with the unhoused people and also the repeat offenders that are being arrested to help them get shelter and to help them change their lives, and maybe they can make a difference in the world.
You know, I know you feel very passionate about this, and I can tell just by talking to you and also by the actions that we've seen you take. I know that we see you at 3020 Gordon quite often, every second Sunday or so, helping to feed those folks. So yeah, definitely, we know your heart's in that. So hopefully we can make some progress on that, just for as a compassionate way, and working with bylaw in a compassionate approach there, as you suggest. And then I just want to circle back to your other priority, which is traffic and safety. You talked about this Vision Zero. Can you maybe expand a little bit on how you would improve transportation options, transit, walking, cycling? How would this all fit into your Vision Zero sort of format? Like, what more can we do there?
Okay, yeah, this is a really big issue. It's also connected to transit, so we need to improve the bus system and the SkyTrain service to have more trains and more buses. Because I live on Austin Avenue, and after 6 p.m. on Austin Avenue, there's only one bus per hour, the 152.
Okay.
And this hasn't changed for like 30 years. It's really unacceptable. And other things we need to improve active transportation is to put sidewalks on streets. So some streets in Coquitlam do not have sidewalks.
Okay.
So that has to be done. And more bike paths are needed to protect cyclists, to have their own dedicated lane so they can move around the city safely and quickly.
Okay, so that's some points you're making. Reduce the secondary street speeds to 40 or 30, to put in more sidewalks and cycling options, and to increase transit along the main routes. Okay, so now you have about 6 months until the election. It's coming up on October 17th. What have you done to prepare for this? Like, I know you've mentioned some of the things that you've done out in the community. Can you tell us anything else that you have sort of done to prepare, and how maybe your experience sets you apart from other candidates?
Okay, on the environmental side, I have been involved with 2 campaigns to City Council. One was the Zero Carbon Step Code. We tried to get the city to institute the full Zero Carbon Step Code before the deadline of 2030, but it failed. But I think I would like to try that again. And this is that I have been going to council meetings and watching the proceedings and trying to get the city to institute more environmentally friendly policies. And the other one was Sue Big Oil. I was also a part of that. Some high school students made a presentation to City Council, and I think that was very successful. It wasn't successful in getting them to join the lawsuit, the civil action lawsuit, but I think it has opened the eyes of the councillors and the mayor to what is possible if Coquitlam could join this lawsuit, and then we can get a critical mass and then start the lawsuit to make the fossil fuel companies pay for what they have done to our environment worldwide.
Okay, right. So it sounds like you've been active in a number of different areas. We're going to wish you all the best, Phil, in your campaign going forward. And I really hope that we can touch base again before the election.
Okay, thank you so much, Nancy. I really appreciate you taking the time to interview me today.
Okay, thanks. And thanks so much for joining us. This is We've Got Issues, and we've been speaking with Phil Buchan, who is taking a run for Coquitlam City Council.